So I'm very excited for today's chat. We're going to be breaking down a book and some of the key lessons from The Big Leap. Now, if you know me or if you've been in my world, I talk about this book a lot. It's really, really simple, which makes it super, super awesome. And I've been rereading it every year for over 8 years. And it's the exact same book. It's all tattered. And it's hilarious and amazing and awesome to go through it and see, the goals and the notes year over year and just how much I've grown and probably how much you've grown. And so much of my kind of philosophy or even the way I see the world and the way I see personal growth was the genesis of it was not just reading this book, but studying it. So I think this video is going to be really impactful, especially if you're looking for more or if you've been stuck in the same place month over month, year over year, or it's just not like there's growth, which is cool. Then there's like quantum leaps, like doubling, tripling your income in a year, like tripling your net worth, like seeing more love and abundance, or just moving to a different country, or moving to a different city, or just massive upgrades that is like you are not even close to the same person you were after 12 months. It's life is not even recognizably the same, and a lot of people stay stuck in kind of the same year over year or just a little bit better. And what fascinates me, and this is what I remember being stuck on the oil rigs, hating my life, working really hard, trying to change my life, and nothing was changing. And in fact, the harder I tried and the harder I worked and the more I wanted it and needed it, the harder the change was. And there was a moment where I started cracking the code on like, no, I want quantum leaps. I want, I want this to, does this have to be so damn hard? And that's when things really started shifting. And what I will say, and I'll try to sum this book down into like something really actionable for you as well. By the way, if you have read this book, do let me know in the comments. The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. If you haven't read it, I'd suggest reading it. If you've read it but haven't studied it and haven't done the exercises and his suggestions that are in this book, I highly recommend you do so. And there's a lot of concepts in this book, but I'm going to break down one, and I think the most important. It won't be foreign to you. It's this idea of like a ceiling, like a glass ceiling. Our upper limit problem, which I think he calls like the ULP. Our upper limit problem, it's almost like a thermostat. And in the book, he explains it like a financial thermostat, which is something I think about all the time. And I'm gonna share a story about that in a second. And it's like, where is your financial thermostat set at? We could call it also a standard. It's like, what is the standard? And it doesn't just have to be financially. In the amount of energy and joy and love you feel, in the amount of excitement you feel on a daily basis, what is your baseline? In the relationships you have, in the friends and the people around you, are they people that lift you up and support your big crazy ideas, or are they people that, hey, you should think realistically, hey, you should bring it down? Where is that thermostat set? Your self-worth thermostat. What you feel you bring to the world. Your thermostat on how you use your time, because every minute that goes by, you're investing that minute. I don't take this lightly. You're investing a few minutes with me right now, and I want to make it valuable to you. But when you're off this video, what do? Are we scrolling on TikTok? How are we investing our time or money or energy? Who are the people around us? Where's our thermostat set on the goals and the dreams we set? Have we been beat down so many times that our thermostat is just kind of blah? I like the financial thermostat idea. Tony Robbins had this thing. I believe it was actually his study he did, or maybe it was a study that someone else did. But they were talking about people's financial thermostats, and some people, they're always just behind on the bills. Some people, they could pay the bills, but it's tight. Some people, it's month over month. There's like just a little bit extra. And some people have a very different financial thermostat. Like they won't settle for anything less. But what the funny thing that they found in this study was the people who barely made it or just scraped by, they never had enough money. The second someone close to them, got sick or had some medical expenses, or they needed to come up with the money for someone else, not themselves, but someone else, they found creative ways to get their hand on an extra 5 grand, 10 grand, 20 grand. And then when that dilemma was handled, they went right back to where the thermostat was set at. And I have a personal relationship with that. It's kind of backwards. But when I was on the oil rigs, I made around 6 figures a year. And that to me just kind of became a thermostat. Now, we won't get into how I spent that money because I blew it all and made very poor financial decisions and got into a bunch of debt that later I had to pay for. But the point was, I just kind of expected 8 to 10 grand to come into my bank account every month. And I did that for 5 years, 5.5, almost 6 years. When I quit the rigs and I got into business, the first year was crazy. But in a very short period of time, I started replacing that income. Again, I still didn't have a financial education, so I was just being a mess. But didn't take me long to hit that income when so many other business owners, they struggled to they would love to make six figures a year. To me, I was like, I just kind of expected it. Like I wouldn't even think about getting into business if I couldn't. Eventually seven figures and multi six figures per month, $4 or $5 million a year. Like that just became my thermostat. I'm like, this is just a set point. How much love and amazingness I feel on a daily basis. How many times I stop and I'm like, whoa, this freaking life is a miracle. It's like raising the thermostat for that. And so my invitation to you, or my suggestion, or really ultimately what this book suggests, is getting really like putting in the work and putting in the time and putting the space aside to go inward and just being like, where are my thermostats set in areas of my life? We can talk financial because that's probably why you're here, but it's for every other area of your life as well. And you can start realizing when you hit an upper limit problem, or a ULP, when you kind of sabotage the excess. So let's just say you're kind of used to like, okay, you're kind of, you work most of the year and your kind of life is here. Then you have a moment where you book some holiday, or there's this big event coming, or a big day coming, or you're going somewhere overseas with your husband or wife or boyfriend, girlfriend, or you're doing something big. And you find a way to, on the first day, get in a fight, ruin the experience. Hand up if you've ever done something like that. I have. It's like you are in paradise and you sabotage it for yourself. You're not even willing to accept that amount of goodness. It is so far above the the thermostat you've set, the set point for whatever area of your life, that you find a way to just bring it back to where it was. You can see this in income yo-yoing for people. Maybe the thermostat is like $5,000 a month. And when they make less than, they find some way to make up for it. If they make more than it, they find some way to blow it. That was me, by the way, for a very long time. My thermostat was set at six figures a year. Great. When I started making that, awesome, I hit my kind of thermostat set point. When I started making more than that, I started making very poor financial decisions to just kind of bring me back to that set point. And that's when I really started identifying my own upper limit problems when it came to finance. And every quarter, I have a ULP meeting with myself, resetting thermostats, resetting set points. Let me know if this is making sense. I'd love to keep jamming on this. This is the kind of stuff we talk about on our Monday mindset calls every Monday inside the UIG. If you're in the UIG, please join those. We spend 30 minutes to an hour talking about this stuff, and it's more of a live interaction. So please join it. To me, it's like mindset first, and then investing, and then everything else. And if we can't get this right, we can go far beyond just mindset. But if we can't get ourselves right, everything else is going to be a mess. It's just such a fundamental truth. If we can't get ourselves right, everything is going to be a mess. So again, I highly recommend, spend a couple hours and read this book and study it. And then the last kind of point I want to make is, once you start realizing that, hey, every time I kind of go above my financial thermostat set point, or any set point, I find some way to sabotage it. That'll start helping you identify where that is. And then we just have to consciously start making a decision, building out the actual framework and the foundation for what is my next set point. And the party doesn't end there. And then it's making a decision every single day to make that the new standard. And it could take 30, 60, 90 days of every single day. You almost feel like you're kind of out of alignment, which is why I dislike the crowd that is like, just live in alignment. It should feel good. It should feel easy. I'm like, well, that's kind of bullshit, because who are we living in alignment to? Our old selves? Because if that's the case, you can make it feel easy and good, and life can be a breeze. But if we have a bigger vision for ourselves, then it's going to demand stretching out your comfort zones and out your comfort levels, and it's going to feel all new and all out of alignment. It's going to actually feel really messy and scary and at times painful. It's like you're stepping into a new way of being, and that's not going to feel good. That's why most people choose to feel good and in alignment and cozy and fuzzy, and it's like, and they never progress. And you look at them and you're like, do you not see it? But they refuse to see it because they've got their own paradigm and their own beliefs, and that's fine. But to me, I'm someone who wants to grow, which means I constantly have to step into something that's uncomfortable, which means this is not going to be easy. But if I could be in alignment with the bigger version of me, the version I want to become every single day for 30, 60, 90 days, eventually I just become that, and that becomes my new thermostat. Think about this. The problems you had 3 years ago, if you're growth orientated, that used to be deliberate, like they would destroy you mentally. Now, chances are high that those problems I mean, they wouldn't even affect you if they happened because you grew as a human. Now, what if we could just speed that up and consciously accelerate that to see like a quantum leap in 2025 or within a quarter? Like that's actually available to you and available to me. Really, really hope this video helps. I'm happy to do more videos like this. If you have read this book or you want anything broken down from The Big Leap, or if you'd like me to start doing kind of book reviews, I've read well over 1,000 books, spent $250,000 in coaching and masterminds just this year alone. Like I'm in this stuff. I'm happy to break down different frameworks or any questions you have. Do let me know in the comments. With that said, I'm gonna get out of here. Hope you enjoyed this style video. Give this video a like, subscribe to this channel. If this video was helpful to you or you think it'll be helpful to someone else, share it with them. That's the only cost of admission. And with that said, we'll see you in the next. Peace.